The future is bright indeed. We're all of us dreaming of the better days ahead, and a part of your bright new future could be a move to where the magic lives in the greater Orlando area of Florida. One of the biggest decisions you'll make when considering a move is selecting a realtor who can successfully match you with the right home in the right location at the right price. Victor Naraki is the realtor who can help you make the move you've always wanted to. Whether you're a first-time homeowner or looking to move near Disney World, Victor is in your corner. If you are looking for an experienced real estate agent covering all of Central Florida, please visit DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com today and find out just why you should work with Victor. I encourage you to create a free, no-obligation account on his website. By doing so, you'll unlock the website's full potential and be able to enter specific criteria, save listings, and browse new properties sent to your email. Visit DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com today or visit his Facebook page, Victor Naraki Realtor. And don't forget to tell him the Grand Circle Tour podcast sent you.
Aloha, passengers. Welcome back to the Grand Circle Tour. Jungle Skipper Jay. I am with my one most favorite co-host, Mission Commander Justin. How are you today?
I am doing fantastic as always, but you already knew that, didn't you? The reason I'm your most favorite co-host is because we are going to talk about Doctor Who.
You can say companion. I am fine with that. Anytime I can talk about Doctor Who, especially classic, is the happiest skipper in skipperdom.
and
we're about to talk one of the most important seasons of Doctor Who ever in its 60-year history, 1965 to 1966, season 3, William Hartnell's final season.
Final full season anyway, yes.
Right. We get my favorite monsters. We get some of my favorite companions. I can't wait to get going. So, Justin.
And oddly enough, I mean, so we went from season 2, where most of the episodes are available, to this season. So many of them are still missing. I think, what is it, like, there's 45 episodes total. 28 of them are missing.
Is one of the longest seasons of Classic Who there is.
It is. So to have so much of that missing is just, it's heartbreaking, especially when we start talking about like some of these stories and such that are here. So,
and I really think those episodes are out there. One day we are going to get them back, the same we did with the War Machine, the two Patrick Patton stories I can't name right now.
I certainly hope so. In fact, Galaxy 4, the one episode of Galaxy 4 had been a lost episode and turned up again.
Right.
So it's possible. Some of these old lost episodes can always turn up. People are out there always looking.
The very first Doctor Who Target novel I ever read. I was in the hospital with cancer really bad at the time, so I read Galaxy 4, the Target novelization, 10 times, and every time I read it in a different doctor's voice, a different doctor, different companions, all the way up to David Tennant.
Because why not?
What? I had nothing else to do. I wasn't going anywhere, so I might as well read this 10 times.
But yeah, so Galaxy 4 is the first story of this season. It's 4 episodes long.
And
one of the episodes have been recovered.
Right. And this episode is actually available audio-wise on vinyl. I bought it last year. If you are a Doctor Who fan, go to eBay, go to Amazon, look up Doctor Who Galaxy 4. Grab this final set because it's all the original voices, it's all the original voice acting. You will get as complete as an experience as you can get.
This one has also been released as an animated one as well.
I haven't watched the animated yet. I bought it, but I haven't watched it yet. It's in my stack of DVDs to watch.
But that way, I mean, that's a little easier to watch than some of the telesnap reconstructions. But you know, it's always fun to watch these old episodes.
We've talked about telesnaps. I really do enjoy the telesnaps. it is hard for some people to watch because you're looking at black and white photos overlaid over the audio.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a picture book, like the old, you will know it is time to turn the page when Tinkerbell goes, ring.
Well, and some of these too have been released. You mentioned like the audio of Galaxy 4. I know some of these have been released as well, with Peter Purves even doing like the linking narration. But so we have like the original audio, but then Peter Purves is kind of giving you the play-by-play, as it were, of what you would be seeing on the screen.
And not to jump ahead, Peter Purves is still playing Stephen Taylor and still playing the first Doctor on Big Finish. And we will get to that in about 30 weeks.
We might have to start doubling up. We've got a lot of stuff to get through here.
We have so much to go through.
All right. So after Galaxy 4, like I say, we've talked about that. Next up is the next story is Mission to the Unknown, or
which I know you really want to talk about because they redid this a few years ago.
I love this. So first of all, two things about it. First of all, this is kind of a weird thing for them to have even done, because this was an episode that didn't have the Doctor, the TARDIS, the companions, nothing that we were familiar with. It's a one episode short in the middle of these stories that were at least 4 episodes long.
But it was recreated scene by scene as realistically as they could by fans.
The University of Central Lancashire, I'm probably mispronouncing that, but they used the original script. They used as much of like the original sort of equipment and such to recreate this as if it had been done at that time in the 1965.
You and I have both watched this a few times, and it is phenomenal.
They did a great job with it, absolutely. And we can tell everyone, go watch this. It's out on YouTube, legally even.
I'm going to include a link in the show notes for people to watch this.
Yeah, it's on the official Doctor Who channel even, so we know it's all legit and up and up.
And I've been saying the last 2 episodes, there's something very magical about this black and white, these early years. And for someone to recreate that and recreate it faithfully, as it should have been.
Mm-hmm, to have recreated that entire look and feel, not just retelling the story, but actually trying to get it to look how it would have looked at the time.
Give us the episode we would have seen.
Yeah, so it's very well done. I highly recommend checking that one out. Then after that, we get the Mythmakers, and I think this one is entirely missing. All 4 episodes.
Is entirely missing. And this is the one with the Trojan horse.
Yeah, so we get the Greeks, we get the Trojans, we get all of that kind of fun stuff. And then we get to the big one.
Ooh, I love this story.
Okay, so Mission to the Unknown wasn't entirely standalone. I lied to you a little bit there. It's actually a setup for the Daleks' Master Plan. And the Daleks' Master Plan is huge. It's 12 episodes long. It's going to take you over 5 hours if you watch all of it. Of course, only about 3 of those 12 episodes are available.
I really recommend the Target novelization or whatever audio reconstruction you can find on like iTunes or CD. This is one of the biggest stories of Classic Who because we get Sarah Kingdom, played by the late, great Jean Marsh, who I really think is one of the Doctor's greatest companions of all time. And her niece will come into play in the David Tennant years on audio.
Oh, nice. During on one of the Big Finish sort of runs?
Dalek Universe 1 through 3 with David Tennant and Jane Sladen is 10th Doctor, and he kind of has to travel with her niece and become comfortable with telling her, yes, I knew your aunt, I knew your uncle, they died saving me. And for that guilt to carry through so many lifetimes.
Yeah, so the Daleks' Master Plan, I mean, obviously we have the Daleks back. But this time, they're not just trying to take over Skaro. They're not just trying to take over the Earth. They're trying to take over the entire tri-state area. I mean, the entire universe.
Now, Justin, this is what I love about the old Daleks compared to the new Daleks. I preferred them as schemers and planners and kind of working behind the scenes to take over rather than, we are here, we are going to screw you over.
It is a good point. I mean, these older ones, yeah, you're absolutely right that they seem to put more thought into their plans, and they're almost like the master in that way of going, we're going to manipulate things behind the scenes to our advantage and then take over.
I can't wait to get to the master. He's my favorite villain. But this is the Daleks are like the schemers, the planners, the backstabbers, the not so in your face, we are here to take over the universe rather than we are here to backstab and take over that way.
Now, fair warning, if you are watching this, about halfway through these 12 episodes, the 7th one becomes a Christmas episode for no good reason. The Doctor and his companions pop off into the okay, we're in the middle of the Daleks are trying to take over the universe.
They go to Hollywood in the 20s. And we get our very first Christmas episode because the first Doctor looks at the camera and Merry Christmas to you all.
Yeah, it's like Merry Christmas to everyone at home. And it's like, and apparently the producers were not very happy. That was something that Hartnell just kind of improvised on the spot. And
right. Which is why we love Hartnell.
Oh. And of course, and I think we mentioned this last time, that at the time, there wasn't a lot of time for like retakes. So whatever they got on film is kind of what they got.
If William Hartnell said fornication, they would have left it. They did leave it in because he made so many flubs. They were like, we don't have time. Just let it go.
But so after that, then we get to the massacre. And this is another one that is entirely missing. In fact, there aren't even telesnaps of this one. So this one is like almost more missing than anything else.
This one is gone. And this is a fantastic story. Passengers, I'm not kidding. Go find the audio. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it on Amazon. This is 17th century France, the Doctor, and French Revolution. Fantastic story. I actually think it being missing on video and only hearing it on audio does this story justice.
Yeah,
because there's so much. Because your head makes it worse than anything you could see on screen.
Yeah, and I was going to mention this one. We now have Steven as the only companion, because Vicky left in the Daleks' master plan.
Yeah, she stayed behind in Rome.
Yeah.
And Steven, I think, is the Doctor's first real companion friend, because he is his buddy all up until his departure.
Yeah, and Peter Purves did a great job as Steven. They had a really good thing going, and so it's like, I think at the time they had like they didn't want to keep these companions around for a really long time, so they were kind of like rotating them through. But this companion is one that made them start rethinking that, because they were like, you know what? If we've got something that's working, why not keep it working? Why?
And you really see the Doctor as a character soften up, open up, have a friendship with the people he travels with. I mean, and that's one thing I think the first Doctor doesn't really get credit for, because with Ian and Susan and Barbara, he acts one way, but as he goes into Vicky and Dodo and Steven, we see a very different Doctor going forward. We see someone who values his companions as friends, who teach him things.
Yeah, and that's something that carries through, I mean, all the way up to modern day Doctor Who, of how much, not only that he cares about his companions, but how much he needs to have someone traveling with him.
I think this season, more than the two before it, really set up modern Who.
Yeah, and you wouldn't think that something from 1965 or 66 is setting up, the 2000s and forward.
But that's
Doctor Who, but it really is.
But that is my favorite thing about the show, Justin. It doesn't matter what era you watch, it doesn't matter what Doctor you watch, what year you watch, you are watching the same show from 1963 to right now with Scooty Gatwa.
Absolutely. So after the massacre, the massacre, of course, is another historical. Then we go into another science fiction one, the Ark. As they move.
This is where it gets creepy.
Yeah, so they're on a spacecraft 10 million years in the future. And this, I believe, is where we get introduced to Dodo. I think that's when she joins the crew.
Poor Dodo, who gets the shortest life of any companion, who gets the worst see ya than any companion. But we get her. And this is the fullest complete story we have for Classic Who, for William Hartnell's area.
That's 4 episodes, and they are all available. I think there's only like 3 of the stories for this entire season that are all the episodes are available now.
So much is missing, and I really think somewhere in a vault or someone's private collection, these episodes exist, and we are going to get them back. We just have to hang on.
Well, and especially the next one, the Celestial Toymaker.
Oh, you mean Neil Patrick Harris?
So that is the rumor that Neil Patrick Harris is going to be playing the Celestial Toymaker in an upcoming episode of Modern Day Who. But this is the story where that character was introduced. And again, 4 episodes, 3 of which are missing.
And it stars the late, great Michael Gough, who we all know is Alfred from Batman 89, 92, 95.
Yeah, this one is, as I understand it, I mean, it's a lot of fun. This is one I haven't seen. I'm obviously trying to work my way through all of these older episodes right now, but I'm looking forward to this one because I understand that this one's a lot of fun to watch.
I'm really hoping the character Neil Patrick Harris plays in the 60th is the Celestial Toymaker, because he's one of those characters as fans we have always wanted to come back. He's made some returns in Big Fish and in novels, but on screen, this is a character who really gets the Doctor and likes to toy with the Doctor himself.
Yeah, and then I'm kind of surprised. This is one that I keep thinking they would do an animated recreation of at some point.
Right, and I'm really surprised if Neil Patrick Harris isn't playing him, that it's taken this long for this character to come back on screen.
So after we get done playing around with the Celestial Toymaker, we move on to the Gunfighters, another historical.
This is one of my favorite all-time Doctor Who stories. I never get tired of this story. I don't care how bad the American accents are. This is one of my favorite stories in Doctor Who.
And this one's in Tombstone. We get to meet Doc Holliday. We get to see the gunfight at the OK Corral, and
we do. And the Doctor is mistaken for Doc Holliday. We get Doc Holliday removing his bad tooth. We get some of the worst Americanized accents of songs we could get. At the OK Corral. All the accents are terrible, but again, it's what I love about this show. It's the imagination.
and once again, this is one that all 4 episodes are available, so you can watch these as they were originally shown.
I have this on DVD and it has so many great special features. Guys, I'm not kidding. I know it's hokey, but The Gunfighters is one of my favorite top 10 Doctor Who stories ever.
Yeah, this is another one. Like I say, I'm kind of going through these in order, and I
have you seen this one before?
I have not watched this one.
Okay, it's hokey as heck. It really is. But this is such a fun story. It's you really get to see the Doctor be the Doctor. His companions are in over their head. It's very modern Who.
I'm definitely looking forward to this one as well.
I will watch it with you.
There we go. We'll set up a watch party.
I will totally watch party this with you. I love the Gunfighters. I have the DVD. This is one of my all-time favorite Doctor Who stories. And you'll get William Hartnell in the cowboy hat.
Which right there, that's worth the price of admission alone.
Darn you for taking the words out of my mouth yet again.
Well, that's what I'm here for. So now something interesting happens here as we move into the next story, the Savages, and that's that we stop having individual titles for the episodes.
We do.
So all the way up to this point, every single episode had its own title. We refer to it like the Gunfighters, for example, but it's A Holiday for the Doctor, Don't Shoot the Pianist, Johnny Ringo, The OK Corral.
Which I have to say I really missed because I liked it as here's a book, here's the chapters.
Mm-hmm. So we're basically getting chapter titles for every episode, starting with the Savages, it's just the Savages, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3.
And it's kind of a disservice in a way because I really like the way it was done. And this is one where every single episode is currently missing.
Yep, this one is also missing. All 4 episodes. And it's kind of a shame. It's another sci-fi one that looks really interesting.
I wish we had more to offer, but we really don't because I want to go off what people can see rather than hear. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those we have to just kind of check off and move on.
A little bit, yeah.
I would rather have passengers discover the story for themselves, be it YouTube or Wikipedia or whatever. Go search this and go enjoy this for the discovery you're going to find.
Oh, absolutely. And if you can find like the loose cannon reconstructions, for example, you can watch them that way. I think all the loose cannon ones are on YouTube.
Yes,
if I recall. So these you can certainly find these, but yeah, just be aware that you're going to be watching these reconstructions with the still photos and a bit of text kind of like explaining some of the action that you can't see.
But you know, this is one of the things I love about Classic Who is if you want to find it, you really have to go looking for it. You have to have that dedication. You have to want to find it, to see it.
Yeah. And a lot of these, I mean, we talk about the ones being available, they are available, like the Gunfighters. These are available on DVD. You can find them, and you can buy them, you can watch them.
And I think this is a good time to say, passengers, if you have a question, if you need someone to point you in the right direction for these older episodes, Justin or I will be more than happy to guide you into these Classic Who episodes. Just DM
we'll
us.
Be happy to let you know where there's animated ones, where there's reconstructions, where there's the full episodes available on disc, on Blu-ray, on DVD.
Justin, if you give me 5 minutes to talk about Doctor Who, I will take 5 hours.
Which is why this is such a dangerous proposition to let you start this whole series in the first
I'm so glad you're doing it with me because you're the only one who can put me on the leash and keep me on the path.
Oh. So after the Savages, we get the War Machines, and this is the third one of the entire season. All 4 episodes are available. And this, I've seen bits and pieces of this one. I haven't watched it all the way through.
I love the story.
But I love this one. What little I have seen of it.
Love the story. We get Ben and Polly, but Dodo gets a really dirty exit. She doesn't even get to say goodbye. She just got written out at the end. And the script was, "Oh, Doctor, Dodo decided to stay, so we're just going to go with you." But I want to take a minute to talk about Anneke Wills, who plays Polly. I really highly recommend finding her autobiography. You can get it at AnnekeWills.com, a signed edition. She was one of the London it girls of the 60s. And she has so many amazing stories to tell with Mick Jagger and the Beatles. Just a fascinating person. And she got to be, I really think, one of the greatest companions in Who.
Well, and Ben and Polly, I mean, they're introduced here, but they stay on for a while next season.
And Anneke is still playing Polly on Big Finish. I just finished a Big Finish where it was the second Doctor with Ben and Polly and Jamie, and Polly is still played by Anneke. And it was a fantastic story.
We'll talk about this next season, but these are the two companions who are around when we see the first regeneration.
Right, these are our first carryover companions.
Mm-hmm. So now, in modern day Who, it seems like these regenerations always happen at the end of a season, but early days, they didn't do that.
we didn't know what was going on, and unfortunately, William Hartnell just got too sick to carry on, but we will get there in 2 more episodes.
Yeah, so we're...
two more stories, I should say.
Yeah, 2 more stories. So yeah, next season, we'll talk about that a little more.
I can't wait to talk about Patrick Troughton, the man who saved Who. But yeah, I will just say in Dodo's defense, Dodo got written out dirty. Rather than getting to say goodbye to the Doctor, Ben and Polly just show up and go, "Oh, Dodo decided to stay. No goodbye. Let's go."
But yeah, so again, just to point out, Galaxy 4, the Ark, the Gunfighters, the War Machines, these are all available on DVD or Blu-ray.
And again, we would be more than happy to help guide you into Classic Who. Just hit us up. We are more than happy to do it.
And some of the episodes that are that do exist for the Daleks Master Plan and the Celestial Toymaker are also on the Lost in Time DVD. So you can see those as well if you want to see those.
Which I have to say, Justin, there's 2 DVD sets, The Lost in Time, like you mentioned, and The Beginning with the first 3 William Hartnell stories. If you want to get into black and white Who like I do, these are fairly available. These are very affordable on Amazon or eBay.
Yeah, and if you're wanting to do kind of like I am, where you're going through and watching it, trying to watch it from the beginning. Obviously, start at the beginning. Start with episode 1, an unearthly child, and kind of work your way through. That's how I'm doing it. So I'm filling in with as many of the reconstructions as I can get hold of. And the episodes that are available, so I'm watching it all in order, and I'm enjoying doing that, and that is certainly one way of going about this. And like we talked about before, if you're not into it, if you're not into the black and white, don't feel bad. You start with, say, the Third Doctor, then where it starts being in color, and
I can't wait to get there.
Yeah. Because that's where a lot of the American audience basically is as far back as we were able to see when these were first being aired.
But even if you don't like black and white, if you don't like old TV, if you don't like the way things were filmed or shot or done, there is something very special about these early 6 episodes out of black and white, because it was done with literally no money and imagination.
So much imagination.
And it's really is, I think, the greatest show in the history of TV.
And it's always amazing to watch these old episodes and see just, how well they did with no budget.
How well they did no budget, but also how much of these old episodes carries over into modern Who.
Oh, absolutely, because they're constantly referencing and these older episodes, these older companions. We kind of bring them back every so often where we can.
Right.
But so many of, as we've talked about, so many of the themes and the way the Doctor is portrayed and how how the TARDIS functions, that all goes back to these early days as they were kind of making it up as they went along. Right. And that became the way this whole show carries forward.
There really is something truly, and I hate to say Disney magic about these old BBC black and white episodes, but they have a magic the way Disney did it at that time with Zorro and other things. It's so much imagination, it's so much creativity, so many great characters, so many great stories. As a Disney fan, you are going to get sucked into this and be like, wow.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So do we have any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Oh, we have to get to the 10th planet, my friend. We get to meet my favorite, not my favorite villain, but my favorite monsters in all of Doctor Who. Justin, the Cybermen are the only monsters in Doctor Who actually scare me, who actually terrify me.
And again, those are ones that they were introduced way back in the 4th season. They're still around as a favorite.
They were they were the first Doctor's final monster, and they were created out of fear of replacement hearts, replacement lungs, replacement pieces. We get to meet a race of humans who were so afraid of death that they replaced every organic part with a metal part. And they lost their humanity. They lost their feelings. They only talk like this now. But there's something terrifying about not knowing what's behind that cloth surgical mask and all that crazy machinery on top. Like, what did these humans do to themselves to survive? Why did they give away their humanity? Why did they give away every piece of being themselves to be these metal monsters to survive, who then think they have to recreate every species they see like them?
It's a fascinating story. This is the first origin story of the Cybermen.
They're scary now. They're scary now, but they're going to get even more terrifying in about 25 weeks when we find out the Cybermen have evolved to basically just cut your brain out to stick it in a metal suit to operate it as a CPU. This is a villain who is going to go on and on and on and be one of the top 2 villains in all of Doctor Who.
See, we let Jay start talking about Cybermen, and he's
I'm not kidding you. The Cybermen are the only villains who actually scare me, because that is the worst case scenario. I would not want to end up like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to talking about them even more next time.
Oh, we will. We sure will. Tomb of the Cybermen, one of my favorite Doctor Who stories. But we're going to end with our very first regeneration. Unfortunately, the late, great William Hartnell was too sick to carry on. And if you go back and watch the docudrama Adventure in Space and Time, they'll explain it better. But basically, he was too sick to carry on, and the show was too popular. So they decided to replace him with another actor. So we get our first regeneration, which at that time they called renewal. And this is what allowed the show to carry on to this day. We love the Doctor, we love the character of the Doctor, but the Doctor is an alien from a different planet, a different species. His body is worn out at the end of the season. And he renews/regenerates into a new body.
Yeah, and like I said, Ben and Polly, who were introduced this season.
We're getting Jamie next season.
Jamie is another great character.
We're getting the Ice Warriors.
We're gonna have a lot to talk about next time.
I can't wait. Passengers, really and truly, I love this era. I never get tired of this. This is why I go back and listen to new stories set this time on Big Finish with these original actors. it just gets better and better the more you watch it. Yes, it's old. Yes, it's black and white. Do yourselves a favor. These first 3 seasons, try to watch whatever you can. And like I said, if you have questions, hit Justin up, hit me up. We are more than happy to bring you into the fold.
Absolutely. That's why we're doing this.
This is a perfect season of Doctor Who, and I really hope that one day this is all found and given back to us on Blu-ray.
Absolutely. Here's hoping. And we know there are people looking.
Thank you so much for doing this with me every week. Thank you for being my Doctor Who victim.
Well, somebody had to.
You're the only one who could do it with me. I love you for it. Thank you, dude.
Oh, no problem. I'm so glad to be here as well. So with that, shall we wrap this one up?
Let's wrap it up. We'll be back next week with one of the most important seasons of the show. We get Patrick Troughton, the second Doctor, who is the Doctor who saved the show, and I think which all Doctors who have come after have based themselves on.
Absolutely. He is one of the best Doctors out there, and I haven't seen enough of his stuff. I
can't wait. I cannot wait for next week to talk about Power
we
of
will,
the Daleks.
We will talk about Patrick Troughton and all of the wonderful things that are introduced in season 4 next time.
Go back, BritBox, DVD, YouTube. Go watch the first Doctor, William Hartnell. It is truly magical, and as Disney fans, I think you will really appreciate these first 3 seasons and what they have to offer.
Absolutely.
With that, Ken, get us out of here.
The Grand Circle Tour podcast is brought to you by Expedition Roasters. When you visit expeditionroasters.com, use the promo code Grand Circle Tour Podcast, that's all one word, and you'll receive 10% off of your order. If you would like to keep the adventure going after the show, be sure to like our Facebook friends page, Grand Circle Tour Magical Ticket Holders. While you're on Facebook, like our group page, Grand Circle Tours. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Grand Circle Tour Podcast, as well as Instagram, GCT Podcast, and our YouTube channel, Grand Circle Tour, and on TikTok at Grand Circle Tour Podcast. That's all one word. If you would like to email us, drop us a line at gctpodcast@gmail.com. T-shirts and other fun merchandise can be found at tpublic.com. Simply search Grand Circle Tour Podcast. If you enjoyed your adventure, leave us a review on Apple Podcast. Only one rule, make it good. All logos, sounds, songs, and music that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are owned in full by the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be owned in any way by the Grand Circle Tour Podcast. Thank you for riding with us, and welcome home.
Where is the doctor? Speak. You are a very stupid machine.